Hey everybody, welcome back to the stream. We're at Intel Extreme Masters Kiev Global Challenge. I'm David Freak Turley. I'm here joined with representatives from Sypher and Moscow 5. Can you guys introduce yourselves, please?
Представь просто себя.
I am Darian, solo top player.
I'm Skyrat, solo top for Sypher.
All right, great. Thank you guys. So, what are your predictions coming into this match? Who do you think is going to win?
Что ты думаешь о игре? Кто, скорее всего, выиграет? Какие твои ставки на матч?
Мы готовы побеждать, думаем, что, понятное дело, выиграем. В общем, мы их в салат.
We are really confident with the win. I think we'll just destroy and demolish them.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure we'll win as well. I don't know, we'll do our best and see what happens.
Ну, абсолютно аналогично. Мы все полностью уверены, мы их просто уничтожим.
Okay, great. So you guys are both one game into the tournament so far. Is everything going as you've expected, or is there anything you need to change in the future games?
Вы сыграли уже одну игру, как ты думаешь, у вас все пошло хорошо? Будете ли вы что-то менять? Ожидали ли вы такого результата? И как пойдет дальше?
Ну, мы выиграли одну игру легко. Будем продолжать также дальше. С таким же успехом.
The first game was really easy for us, and we will continue playing our style. And I think the last two games will be same as the first one, so really easy for us.
For us, we went for a split push team, but we did some mistakes. We cost us a Nashor, for example, and then it was really hard because we had no map control. So we'll try to fix these mistakes to win.
Ну, собственно, в первой игре ребята из Sypher говорят, что они сыграли не очень хорошо, их просто засплитпушили очень четко ребята и они будут пытаться менять свой стиль игры для того, чтобы сейчас против Moscow 5 сыграть немножечко получше.
So let's talk about Group A as you guys are gearing up through your group right now. Team Solo Mid took first place, SK Gaming took second. Were you surprised by that result? And also, if you make it out of the group, which team would you rather face?
Вопрос по поводу группы А. Как вам результаты группы А? Вышли ТСМ и СК. С кем бы вы хотели сыграть в полуфинале? Боитесь ли вы кого-то из них?
Мы бы хотели сыграть с обеими командами, но в первую очередь мы хотели сыграть бы с ТСМ.
We want to play versus both teams, but we really want to face Team Salamit in the semifinals.
Can you repeat the question, Frick?
Are you surprised by the result of Team Solo Mid first place and SK second? And also, who would you rather face if you make it to the semis?
Well, I'm not really surprised. TSM is doing pretty well. I saw the match versus SK. I think they got outpicked a bit, but still, I'm not surprised. I think that was the two best team in the Group A, so it's kind of normal. And I don't fear to play against any team.
Ну, в принципе, говорят ребята из команды Sypher, что они не особо удивлены вчерашними результатами, разве что тем, как легко Team Salamit переиграли ребята из СК. В принципе, так как эти две команды были самыми сильными в своей группе, то ничего удивительного там не произошло. И, в принципе, парни из Sypher готовы сыграть абсолютно с любой из этих команд.
For Sypher specifically, you guys have a bit of a rivalry with Against All Authority being the two French teams of this tournament. You guys did come out behind, but you still had the chance to make it through. Were you disappointed with sort of this rivalry match? Were you hoping it would go? Were you hoping you would win, right? What sort of lessons did you learn after that rivalry match?
You mean what we learned about this match?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did some mistakes and then we were in bad mood, I think, and we didn't play our best for sure. So I hope we'll do better next game for sure.
Ну, собственно, интересный вопрос с ребятами из Sypher, потому что они играли первый матч против АА. Такая битва двух французских команд, очень принципиальная. И спрашивают, какие сделали выводы парни из Sypher после той игры. Ну и ответ очень прост, что мы проиграли, играли очень плохо. И как бы этот матч очень сильно нас насторожил перед следующими играми. Мы сделаем очень серьезные выводы и абсолютно полностью поменяем свою игру.
For Moscow 5, you guys have, I guess, a bit of a rivalry with Team Solo Mid as well, where you guys were talking to each other online. Do you have any rivalries with any of the Group B teams?
Ну что, вопрос такой, что у вас принципиальным соперником из онлайна является команда Team Solomid. Ни они вас, ни вы их не особо любите. И из именно вашей группы, из группы Б, есть какие-то принципиальные у вас соперники, такие же, как Team Solomid?
Ну, Team Solomid, я бы не сказал, что мы как-то их выделяем, просто это они на нас, так сказать, положили глаз, чтобы с нами сыграть, а остальные соперники, ну, мы бы хотели сыграть со всеми и, в принципе, выиграть.
They're saying that Team Solomid is not our, rivalry. We love them. They hate us. That's the problem. In Group B, we don't have such a opponent, such a hard opponent like Team Solomid, and we're really prepared, and we'd really love to play versus all teams.
Okay. And for the game coming up and the other games for the day, do you have anything special planned? Any special strategies or picks?
По поводу вот первой игры и тех, которые будут дальше, есть у вас какие-то специальные заготовки для каждой из команд?
Ну, у нас есть заготовки, нет ни для какой специальной команды. Можно сказать, что мы просто заготавливали какие-то определенные стратегии и по мере чемпионата будем их использовать.
We were preparing for the tournament for a few days, and we have a lot of different picks and bans prepared for the tournament, but not for the specific any team. So in general, during the tournament, we will improve our picks and our bans. We will see like other teams will play, and we will do different bans and picks in every game.
For Sypher, we don't want to share a strategy, but still, yeah, we don't have a specific strategy against M5 also, so we'll do this.
Ну что говорит, что для команды Sypher тоже, в принципе, у них есть кое-какие заготовки, но вот именно для команды M5 у них нету ничего сверхособенного, чем бы они могли удивить ребят из России.
Is there anything that either of your teams have learned so far from the games today and the games yesterday?
Есть что-то, что вы почерпнули из сегодняшних и вчерашних игр очень нового для вас?
На самом деле играла другая группа, и почерпнуть мы не особо что могли. Но и первую игру, кстати, мы тоже не смотрели, к сожалению. Но не успели, мы готовились, настраивали компьютеры. Но мы надеемся сыграть хорошо.
We watched yesterday games and we didn't saw something special for us, so nothing new. And the problem that Moscow 5 missed the first game, AA versus Sypher, because they were setting up their PCs, and that could be a problem for them.
Yesterday we watched 3 matches. Well, we already know how do they play because they are streamers, TSM and SK Gaming, so we know SK Gaming pretty well. And for what about we also watch Moscow 5 playing, but I don't know, we didn't learn anything more than we already know.
Ну что, говорит, что вчера смотрели ребята все 3 игры, которые были на сцене. В принципе, тоже ничего удивительного они не увидели, но вот сегодня у них все-таки появилась возможность посмотреть матч команды Moscow 5, и как бы они сделали кое-какие из этого выводы.
All right, next question. Who do you think is the single best player at this tournament?
Кто, по-твоему, вот лучший игрок этого турнира, именно как один игрок?
Думаю, это будет Алексич. Он у нас тащит на миде. Так что, вот так.
Ну, without awareness, it will be Alexich. He's the best, and he will destroy everybody in mid.
It's a bit early to say it for Group B because only one match was played by both teams. In Group A, I didn't saw all the matches, so I can't already tell it. But I think in semi-final or final, it will be possible to say it.
Ну что, в принципе, тяжело еще сказать, кто лучше всех будет в группе Б, потому что всего одна игра была сыграна. Но по группе А можно сказать, что, в принципе, Ацелот должен проявил себя вчера, и завтра в полуфинале и финале тоже должен показать себя очень сильно.
And how are your teams liking Kiev? Moscow 5, you've been here for about a week, and I suppose for Sypher, you guys have just shown up recently. So how do you like the city? How do you like the event?
Ну, как тебе Киев? Вы тут несколько дней, вообще в первый раз в Киеве или какой раз, и как вам нравится город?
Ну, первый раз в Киеве. В принципе, все отлично. Организация на высоком уровне. Мы довольны всем. играть. Нам очень нравится тут. Будем очень стараться.
We're first time in Kiev, we're from Russia, but first time in Kiev, and everything is really great. The organization is really great. Tournament is really pleasant to play, so it's really easy to show your power.
And for us, it's the very first time for all the Sypher team. The city is pretty cold. We are not used to this temperature. It's really cold and snowing. It's really different from France, for sure. The culture is different, and we didn't have really time to visit already, but it seems to be interesting and really different. The event is really well organized. The place is really nice. Less big than New York, for sure, but it's different. It's more a gaming center. We enjoy basically everything, just we don't like the temperature.
Ну что, собственно, так же, как и вчера, ребята говорят, что, в принципе, организация на высшем уровне, очень классный киберспортивный центр, но нереально просто холодно, собачий холод на улице, и даже французам, которые, в принципе, на одной черте с Украиной находятся, очень непривычно быть здесь.
Do you have anything to say to the viewers watching at home and specifically your fans?
Передашь какие-то приветы и пожелания тем, кто смотрит дома и так далее перед игрой?
Передаю привет фанатам, всем тем, кто нас болеет, тем, кто нам помогал, и всем своим родным и друзьям.
Big cheers to our fans, to our sponsors, and to all our friends who are cheering for us now.
Big cheer for Sypher, for all the French community, and for everyone who supports us, and also for Kiev to organize this IEM event, and to Fwit, a manager in Sypher.
Ну что, в первую очередь, привет нашему менеджеру, ребятам из Sypher коллектива, которые их поддержали, также, конечно, своим фанатам. И огромное спасибо организаторам турнира.
All right, great. Thank you guys very much for being part of this interview, and we'll be back up on the stream very shortly with the actual game between Moscow 5 and Sypher, but stay tuned because we'll be right back after this.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here live in the Intel Extreme Masters. There we are.
Hey, everybody.
You had a little shot of the Russian commentators there going live here at the event, of course. Joining me, of course, this time is going to be Freak. We're going to have Moscow 5 versus Sypher. You just saw them in the interview. I mean, it's always hard doing interviews before games. You know,
sure.
Nobody wants to really give anything away. But I mean, what sort of impression you get from these? I mean, personally, from watching that, Moscow 5 seem really confident. They're like oozing with confidence.
Yeah, and the interview's the same way. I wanted really to like serve him like, please go troll with your answer like questions. Like, so who do you want to face? Do you have any rivalries? And he's like, we don't have any rivalries. These guys are all terrible. It's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that's the answer I wanted. And then of course, you know, the Sypher answers were very optimistic. Of course, a lot of people are estimating them to not do so well this tournament, but you know, they put up a close fight against All Authority, and you know, in recent tournament results as well, just online, Against All Authority actually mopped up the floor with Moscow 5 just a week ago. And so you're like, well, if you get a really close game against a team that just crushed the team you're facing now, I mean, that's a good start, right? And it's a best of one, so even if you're not the favorite, you pull out something clever and it might work for you. We, you know, kind of saw that with Dignitas in their first game. The early Dragon built them an advantage. They just couldn't quite carry it through. So it really is anyone's game. You know, a lot of the predictions online are that Moscow 5 will win, but there's really the chance for anyone here.
Yeah, and if essentially Moscow 5 are doing just like Sypher did in New York. You know, Sypher came in with a little bit different meta, slightly different strat, you know, a few different heroes they weren't quite expecting, and they managed to get through. They beat CLG for 3rd place. Obviously, they were unfortunately up against an incredibly strong Fnatic in SK at that event. And Moscow 5 are essentially doing the same. There's a lot of people that said, you know, oh, we see these picks all the time. Well, for me, the last picks they did against Dignitas was the very first time we've seen them in a pro tournament, a major offline tournament. Obviously, the meta was essentially the same. I mean, Aurelia's always at the top.
Bruisers and everything.
The very first Shyvana, I believe I've seen in any tournament. Like,
we did actually have Shyvana on the non-stream game of White Lotus against Team Solo Mid yesterday. That was underneath the SK versus Curse game. So Shyvana actually made it to the tournament once, but I think it was the first time we saw Kog'Maw. It was the second time we saw support.
A lot of people have said they think he's underpowered or it needs the entire team built around it. Well, not really.
Yeah,
I mean, they did kind of have a team built around it, but
giving Kog'Maw attack speed is not exactly building a team around it, but kind of just makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, it worked. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with this one. Looks like they are ready themselves up, so everybody is kind of ready. If I tell them, I don't need to tell them we're ready because we've gone straight into the picks and bans. So let's get straight in there. Immediately banned out Rammus. Moscow 5 banned that out against
that was like 2 seconds
Dignitas.
in.
Yeah, they did exactly the same thing. So they've obviously got a... Either he interrupts their strat or something that they don't like Rammus.
I guess they're just setting up diamonds for just for crushing. They're like, well, he crushed everyone last time, so let's get rid of the jungles he doesn't want to play. He seems to play carries quite nicely. He likes Shyvana a whole lot, and sure, let's just set up all the carry jungles, leave Nocturne in, leave maybe they're gonna drop hey the new ban from Sypher. That's not really a surprise. So.
Okay, and the Sypher, they're going to know the M5 from the Empire days, obviously. They've seen that. Shaker actually was banned out last time, so there's something there.
There's some respect bans,
Obviously, maybe that's like, personally from, like you say, Diamond's point of view, only certain people, he's like, right, okay, I can't really counter against this one, or this one works against what I want to try.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be interested to see whether Shyvana does get banned out here by Sypher, because he even said in the interview, actually, that's probably his favourite person.
Sure.
I'm sure they can throw Lee Sin or something in there as well.
Yeah, it's not like that they're not going to be good enough to play other champions, but sometimes there just is an element to playing your favorite champion. You just know the nuances that little bit better, even if you don't consciously think it's your best. It actually might still be just because you play it so often. So there's not necessarily a surprise to do that kind of thing. Cassiopeia being banned out now, so they're actually banning out some of these mages and they're letting Alex play something else. It feels like the vibe of this game is going to be that Moscow 5 are the ones who are confident coming in and are going to sort of say, we're gonna control the pace. You'll react to us. The insta-lock Sona in there. I mean, they're picking very confidently. The insta ban on Rammus, the insta-lock Sona. It's interesting to see them play this way.
Yeah, they clearly have an idea of what they want to pick here, and that's interesting because Sypher generally built a pushing team. Pretty much all in New York was a pushing strat that caught a lot of people out. They did try to do the same thing against AAA, and it didn't quite work out for them. They have gone. Here we go. They've gone for Riven up the top now. Riven very strong up the top lane.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see what Darian's going to pick there. We just saw Darian was the person in the interview there. I think trolling hard. I think the Sypher
there was a couple of laughs in the audience. When
even Sypher said, "I think Darian's trying to troll us here." I'm sure I can hear some strange comments out. Here we go. So we're going to have Rise again in the middle there. Looks like Alex is going to be happy with that one. It is going to be against Morgana, which makes sense actually. It's a pretty reasonable counter. They sort of cancel each other out if more than anything.
Yeah, I think Morgana can survive that lane forever. She can push really hard, and they are going to go for the Shyvana again. So they're just grabbing those champions over and over, and apparently Sypher not that worried about Shyvana. So when you look at the lanes, honestly, Riven can get away and Morgana can get away. So aside from a really fast reflex Black Shield, now Rise can be scary there. Rune Prison has a cast time but no travel time, so if he gets it right away, he's going to be able to lock up Morgana, but she has that Dark Binding. She has the ability to block the rest of the spell damage. Maybe she can get away. Riven just super escapable, although Riven, of course, can also jungle, so Sypher might have grabbed that as, well, we have an option here. What are you going to pick? What's your top lane? What's your jungle? Okay, we can move around as we need, and that is a possibility.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Sypher actually went for the AP carry early on, which is something that often does get left to last. It can easily be countered, possibly showing the hand a little too early. They are going to go for Lee Sin, by the looks of it, in the jungle. Which, Slayer is the jungler, so I'm guessing it's probably going to be him picking it.
And we've got Vayne in there.
Smite on them yet, so whether he's going to change that around. Vayne, well, it's kind of a hyper carry that it does need the support, though. It needs nurturing through the early levels. So probably Soraka to go with that, I would guess. So definitely not Janna. We saw so many bad Janna Vayne combos yesterday. It just didn't work, and it's... Are we going to get another... I don't think they're going to go for Kog'Maw this time. I don't think Moscow 5. We're just waiting for...
Just without Nunu, it's not worth it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, so the options there, I mean, pretty much all the supports except for Sona are available. They could always run something like Alistair for yeah, I was thinking for Sypher specifically, but yeah, Moscow 5 is pretty much every available option here. They've already locked in their support, and they said, okay, you know, it's an aggressive but healer support, so they may go for some early aggression. They may want to push back Vayne and, you know, grab something like Graves or Sypher and kind of come in there. And interesting, actually, no typical ranged AD. This is interesting, actually, that, you know, they're doing something pretty clever. So they don't have a single, you know, quote-unquote ranged AD champion. Maybe it's Kennen, maybe it's the Gangplank. It could be Shyvana if they don't do a swap there. I mean, there's a number of options here. So interesting. Now Sypher has to realize, okay, well, our support pick's going to be in, but are we fighting, is it Gangplank Sona? Is that the lane there? Is it...
The last time I think I saw this was MLG. Was it EG that ran it? That didn't have a ranged AD proper.
Yeah,
like a recognized ranged AD.
Yeah, absolutely. And I forget if it was a default roamer or if it was just, you know, Riven can do whatever. But so Vayne Janna is the story of the tournament. We're going to have that one again. Yeah, I don't actually remember the full lineup, but you're right.
Piri is absolutely fantastic on Janna. So if it's going to work, then I would say Piri's going to do it. Piri in New York was just superb. Played Janna all the time. Played very well. Unfortunately, came against Melisande on Sona, who's just immaculate.
Okay, it looks like it's actually going to be Kennen at the bot lane there if the swaps don't keep moving, which is interesting. So, I mean, Kennen Sona is a lot of poke. There's a lot of damage there, a lot of magic damage.
A lot of AE as well.
They're very, absolutely. You know, they're long range. They can set up, you know, great AoE, as you just said. And without a healer, because they've got Janna and not, you know, Soraka or Taric or Alistair, that damage from that long range will stick, and that's actually pretty valuable here. Now, in a teamfight situation, though, they've got that Morgana Black Shield. They've got the ability to use Janna there to push back both Shyvana and Kennen, who really want to get in there to the middle of the team, and you shove them back with that Janna ult. And, you know, the way Shyvana works is she scales with landing attacks. So if she goes in, turns on Burnout, gets pushed back, she doesn't get to land those attacks, and that spell's going to end if she's not going to be in range to deal damage. It's going to time out, and that's honestly pretty powerful there if they can do that correctly. So we'll kind of see they have the ability to do a lot of clever things.
I don't know if you noticed, Darian, the very last second, locked in that teleport. So I think you kind of left it too late for anyone to react. It's the very last second.
You don't see the summoners anywhere.
You don't see it, though. No, that's all right then.
Yeah, so summoners are blind picked anyway.
In that case, it must have been a last-minute discussion.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he's like, do you want teleport or ignite? You want teleport or ignite? Teleport or ignite?
Make your mind up.
Teleport, go. Okay, done. So we'll see
Gangplank Riven is pretty much the only counter. You know, it's the only really Aurelia I think was banned out.
Yes, Aurelia was banned out. Yes,
was banned out, which is why obviously they picked Riven. They banned out Aurelia.
Yeah,
it was Sypher. So a reasonable pushing team again from Sypher. They're going to go for the pushes. I think. I mean, Vayne's not your normal one. It's more of a damaging. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And hyper carry style.
Yeah, and also the thing is, I mean, yeah, Sona has some good sustain there. You know, you've got CV and Flash can flash away. You've got Summoner heal on Kennen. Actually, you could play ranged AD Kennen. I saw it back in his initial release. People were playing AD Kennen, so it's a possibility, I suppose. But there is the ability for Janna and Vayne to kind of just jump on that bottom lane and deal a lot of damage there. That is absolutely a possibility. Also, one of the stories I want to tell is how much different Group B is from Group A, because one thing we have going on is, you know, we had the interview with SK, and they were like, hey, you know, we really think that Maokai and Skarner are like the top two junglers. If we play them properly, they're going to dominate. And they both just kind of went through, and they were like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. We're just going to play Lee Sin and Shyvana, and they were chill.
Yeah, now we didn't see an invade from Moscow 5 last time, so Sypher kind of went for an invade with AA8. Let's see if they're going to actually do it this time. We did have a full face check before in the last game of the night. Last night, doesn't look like we're going to have too much there. Moscow 5 don't look like they're going too far. It looks like he might go down towards the tri-bush, though.
Yeah, they'll get spotted.
They'll get spotted plenty of time. Yeah, Kennen is...
Oh, if they're really cute, they said Morgana here and Dark Binding as they face check. It looks like they're not doing it, but it's a possibility. Again, they're going to go... Oh, he's too
just
far
missed
back.
it out. And Lee Sin obviously tried to follow it up as well. Immediately, they go straight
Killed
towards
the ward?
that one. Yeah, and put the ward down as soon as they went into there. So they're going to back away from that one. They just got a glimpse of Gangplank as well. Ping's gone down at him. I think Darian might well get caught out of position. He's going to have to dive up towards north.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I'm not too sure if they saw him. They definitely had a ping down on him. Let's have a quick look around. Darian has managed to back away. Yeah, the ping goes down again. They're really... I think it's just pure guesswork that they happen to
he just made it out.
And he's managed to dodge his way around that one, so he's going to the tri-bush, I guess. Is he going to back away, or is he just... He's got balls of steel, he's going to stick around.
Wow.
Piri's actually come up and put that ward up So they're going to make sure they don't get ganked. And it's actually interesting that they, I believe Alex obviously talked about this ward placement here, the fact that Dignitas didn't ward here very much. You know, he came back from his first pick, he got 2 wards, managed to cover out his area, he was completely prepared, whereas Dignitas just didn't do that. This time, Sypher must have been listening because they warded it from right at the beginning.
Yeah, but you can see the very early ward there from Puri as well onto that brush, so they're really trying to keep Morgana safe in this one and just letting her try to farm up, but it's a heavy investment from Janna, and you know, Shyvana may not even gank that quickly.
Yeah, we got a steal actually with Shyvana has taken the red, but Darian is actually going for the blue at the moment, and they're just not aware of it. So Darian may well steal it. Of course, he's meant to be the top lane, so he's taken the blue. Very nicely done from Moscow 5 there, and he's going to back away. Obviously, leave those 2 lizards is the word I was after. I got wizards in the brain for some reason. He backs away. And obviously, you know, he's missing out on the experience of top lane, which is probably going to put Sky at maybe at level 2 in a moment, but he will be very close to it. He's teleporting back up towards the top there, so teleport used, yeah, and pretty much even in the experience with a blue buff, so that's immediately give the M5 a big advantage.
Yeah, it's going to make it really tough for Revenge. You can keep getting those parlay spams going off. Looks like bottom lane already aggressive for Moscow 5. You can see Sona was actually jumping into that brush right there, ready to jump on a... Ooh, Shyvana's... Oh man, they're jumping onto Darian. Oh, nice, flashes that key right there, but Shyvana is right behind. Turns on Burnout. There comes the damage output. Shlaya not in great shape. Skyrt jumps in there. Ignite is on. Skyrt, though, not in happy places either. Going to run away with Ghost on. Yeah, and that looks like they're going to be okay. Diamond, yeah, not going to jump into that one either.
Yeah, and they back off, so very nicely played from both teams. Actually going for the counter. Oh, he's still in the tri-bush. I don't think you should realise Diamond might get caught out this time, but takes Shlaya down pretty low, but the kick missing there. And that was going to be back away. He walks away from that quite easily. Darian was there to support him, of course. He can just completely span his abilities early on. Just going to have a quick look down the bottom because I can see that M5 are actually pushing quite aggressively on Sypher. Now, I kind of expected this, but obviously they've got a pretty strong pushing team. The Janna Vayne can be a little bit weak early levels, but it's obviously classed as the hyper carry. Is going to get very strong later on. So we're just catching a glimpse of Shlaya going around going, yeah, my jungle's been cleared out pretty well. We did see Shyvana counter-jungling heavily in the last game. Let's see if he's going to do the same this time. Yeah, it's actually called Riven back to come back and pick up the experience off the golems.
Yep, that's working out for him. So you can see the, let's look at the minion counts real quick. Looks like Morgana doing a good job against Ryze right here. He's getting pushed to his turret. He's going to miss maybe a couple right there. Darian, the top lane, 13 versus 10, actually, despite missing out some of those early kills going for the Golem. He's already gotten himself ahead in minion kills. And then the Vayne versus the Kennen. Kennen at 21, Vayne only at 17. So it looks like overall, guild advantage, you can actually tell, is plus 400, plus 300 even at the top. And that's Moscow 5 pulling ahead just from the very beginning without even any kills.
Yeah, now Pepper down the bottom, actually staying in the bush at the top there, avoiding really the experience, obviously the advantage that Genja's going to pick up. Genja's just quite happily farming. Just saw the pings go down on top as well. I wasn't sure whether Lee Sin was going to come down there. It looks like he's going to head bottom. We can see the pings on the map, obviously they cannot. We'll keep our eye on where Lee Sin is going to go. Lee Sin didn't have that many successful ganks, I don't think Shlaya did in the first game. Didn't work out too well for him, so he's obviously going to try and follow it up. This time they've pushed forward. He's going to go for the ninja gate. No, he's just going to walk straight forward. So I'm here, and that's really going to make Moscow 5 not too worried about ganks. We of course had Diamond mentioning, obviously we come to 6 minutes, they wanted the Dragon. We are at 5:20 now, so we're going to see whether they're going to edge towards it this time. They have warded up river, so yeah, pings go down, so Shlaya may well work his way down the bottom there, but at the moment it's pretty even between these guys. Obviously we've had the advantage. Darian did steal the blue, so that's going to have put Lee Sin behind. Just how far behind? He's level 3, Diamonds is level 4, Diamonds is actually quite far in. Yeah, he's put him around about a full level behind.
Yeah, and you can see also it is actually AD Kennen at the bottom of the map. You can see the Doran's Blade, 89 attack damage. He's AD Kennen. I've really not seen that in almost ever. So we'll see how that pans out. Of course, they are still winning this game. 800 gold to the advantage now, and that's just kind of growing over time. So, I mean, Moscow 5 can just play the laning game forever, and that's not the worst thing in the world, to be honest.
Yeah, Shlaya just coming in, taking the Wraith. I think looks like he's going to take all the raids. Yes, he is. He was actually pinged, so they are. Moscow 5 are well aware that he is there. He is just going to leave that one, that cheeky little invade. Shlaya was in the mid covering it in the meantime, and dodges well out of the way of the dark bindings. So Launa, Piri down the bottom. Piri does put the ward, both double wards in the tri-bush. Launet continues to go. It is actually called Trollnet, but it is Launet, I assure you. They do change these names just to try and catch us out from time to time. And looking back towards the top there, we do have Schleyer again. Really, there's nothing for him to have, and there is a ward in that push, so it's just not been successful. But then again, neither is Shyvana. Oh, just saw it down the bottom. I thought he'd got the stun off them for a minute, but no. And this is a tense game, you know, considering Empire were giving it the big talk. They are playing very precariously.
Absolutely, and you know they're getting a little bit low on health too. Vayne's doing some good job harassing. You can see Pepper and Genja both down to about half health. She's still spamming that heals, ranking that one about as equally as the Hymn of Valor. So going for the heal and the damage, not so much that movement speed buff, but still it looks like they're going to push to that turret. Vayne's going to have to attack a little bit more to keep that from getting on the turret too hard. Does dodge some of those spells there, good for her. See if they can capitalize off of anything. Looks like a red buff getting stolen as well now by Shyvana. And they do have that ping somewhat. Now Ryze is coming around as defense, but has been spotted by Riven, has been spotted by Lee Sin. She's level 6 and jumps across the wall, going to be safe completely. Shy doesn't get to do much there, and so far that's now 2 buffs stolen. And that's really, really good for Moscow 5.
So Kennan's just been back and bought, so he's got a triple Doran's Blade now, along with those boots. So, yeah, like you mentioned, you know, AD carry Kenan. Can it be the way forward? Who knows? Moscow 5 may be proving something different again here. So, let's see how that one develops. I mean, really, how from your point of view, how does that really affect, you know, when he's popping his ulti, when he's catching everyone out?
I mean, he's very safe, certainly. If you jump on him, he pops the ult, and anyone who's in melee range gets stunned. His W, the little bonus damage there, does tick off of percentage of your AD, so you can look at the tooltip here. You know, he basically has 12% bonus damage. That's basically a passive there. 12% bonus damage, which, you know, Corki's is true damage, but, you know, is 10%, so it's not like it's a terrible passive right there. And, you know, he can stun people in teamfights. He's very escapable. He has that lightning rush to run around, so, you know, as far as anyone else is concerned, sure. Looks like some aggression, though, at the top lane. Ryze coming into gank. Darian's nearby. There's the ult coming off Skyr. Not in a happy place right there. Immediately just blows up, and only to Ryze. No one else even nearby. Diamond came to help, but of course, didn't really matter so much. It looks like they're going to get the turret for this as well. And a complete lack of wards. Oh, at the bottom of the map, though, Kenan jumped on to Lee Sin, but he got to a minion just in time. Got away, but there's that ult. Again, if you're in melee range, you might get stunned.
Indeed. So, first blood. And, well, 9 minutes in, so it's been quite a while coming. And that's immediately, though, looks like Sypher may well... No, they thought about it going for Dragon there. The ping goes down. They are actually going to work their way towards it. They have taken the ward down, so that's surely giving Moscow 5 the warning. Yeah, there goes the clairvoyance down on them, so they know they're coming around there. Only Sona really nearby, Kenan as well. Remember, the top 2 have just backed away, so they may pull this one out. Oh, and they've just been baited completely. Actually, only 2 members of Moscow 5 anywhere near, but they've given it up already, so very precautious play there from Sypher. They had really no idea that, you know, the rest of the team that were up top, they'd all gone back, so they could have probably taken that one.
And you can see the ward, you know, the ward coverage not that strong. Even they have the one there, they can see them by the wraiths finally, but they had really no other ward coverage. And the thing is, yeah, Sono not level 6. Kenan just blew his on Lee Sin. There was no way they were going to win that team fight 2v5. They had no, you know, panic buttons or AoEs to do anything. So just a little bit afraid from Sypher, honestly.
So very cautious play. Will that cost them? That's the question. They've just got 1 kill down. They are nearly 2k down in gold, which tells me they're losing out in the lane phases. And 76 CS to Vayne's 45. That's quite a big difference, really.
Yep.
And wow, a flash blown there. Launet just rolled away and flashed. I'm not too sure if that was a kind of a somewhat a waste, because Kenan had already turned around and backed off.
Yep.
Maybe he was expecting the stun to suddenly hit, but Launet blown his flash down the bottom there. And I'm not too sure that I think they're just being overly cautious now. That, you know, there is a lot on the line. It's it's literally a best of 1 in the group stages, so it is a very tense moment. There's a lot of money involved. Obviously, the points as well. Let's not forget they're aiming to get towards Hanover, the CBIT finals. I think Sypher are actually already qualified because they came 3rd in until Extreme Masters New York, which would have given them enough points. Obviously, Moscow 5 coming into this one with 0 points. They want to go as far as possible.
Yep.
Sypher, of course, want to go as far as possible, but they can be precautious. They've got the benefit of being a little bit more cautious than Moscow 5.
Yeah, and there's actually been a pink ward battle at the bottom as well. Sypher just put down a new pink ward there, as Moscow 5 had put one to sort of clear that out. So Dragon Control still actually in the favor of Sypher, but got to be a little bit careful. Kenan doing some nice damage there, and again without any healing there until, well, she does have the wriggles, so she'll be okay if she can get some auto attacks in. Piri, though, way too aggressive, getting stunned up and gets dropped by that Sona ult, and he has gone down. That was just honestly silly. You know what those champions can do. And he walked into melee range to get a tornado, and that did not pay off. Moscow 5 may take that 5v4 as the opportunity to go for Dragon. Shyvana is running towards the bottom. It's a possibility. Darien, his teleport is up, so Moscow 5 could go for the Dragon in this next 30 seconds if possible.
Yeah, and I think they're ready for it. Alex just blew his ulti in mid there as well to clear that wave and try and push forward. And immediately started walking down towards the bottom there. He followed Alex's path. Yeah, you can see that Sona is now working his way up towards mid. Yeah, there is Shyvana. We don't have Darien moving, of course. He has the teleport, so he's going to try and keep Slayer here as long as possible. Riven already moving down, though. They're aware of this one, so Sypher prepping for it. We're going to see the first team fight, I think. Meanwhile, down the bottom here, Kennen also put Launet in all sorts of trouble, and Launet really can't get involved in this fight now, which is immediately going to give them the advantage. Diamonds is going to try and take this Dragon on his own. He's going to have to back away from it. He doesn't really have the full team support. Meanwhile, up the side here, you can see that Sky did get caught out by Alex Sixter, taken down very low, which means, really, Moscow 5 are going to have the advantage. Oh, we just saw Pepper jump to flash away. Alex does manage to finish off Sky out just at the top of the map. They're going to dive in towards it. There goes Shyvana diving in. He's going to have to back away. Move's also going to get caught out. Surely has the black shield up. Walks towards the tower. Hopes it's going to hold him out long enough. Manages to get the down. Bunny's down. Dodges around. Genja will finish him off. Back towards the top. There's also going to be another kill. And wow, Moscow 5 just completely rolled that one. It looked a precarious position. Slayer's going to go down. And that was perfection from Moscow 5. A 5-0 sweep. Very well played.
That was phenomenal. The entire time they had Shyvana tanking the Dragon and just getting healed by Sona, and just, Sypher was not able to get in there and actually jump onto her. And I really like the move from the Sona as well, where she started getting hit by Morgana early on. The ult went off and she flashed over the wall, and it was like, my team's gonna show up, and then Sona was fine. And Sona, got her health back with Arya Perseverance, and it worked perfectly. She, stopped taking damage and was able to support the team the rest of the way. And they picked up all 5 kills. No one dropped down. They had the great dive in Morgana. Of course, Black Shield's not going to save you from Pirate, and they just got all of it. And even the Riven who came down from the top, she had to fight against the Ryze, and Ryze was like, okay, sure, I'll just kill you, no problem. And so, any sort of part of that fight just went perfectly for them, despite having to take the Dragon at the beginning, despite, being seen and being surrounded. They just executed phenomenally.
Yeah, and it started off as many 1v1s effectively, and then just when it came to having to focus, they did it perfectly and just poured on them. 7-0, that banks the score. A huge advantage for Moscow 5, which was just see Shyvana warding up and towards Slayer there. Won't quite have a glimpse of him now. He will do as he backs away. And, just look at the goal. That's a 7k goal difference. Just shy of 15 minutes into this, 14.5 minutes in. That is a huge difference this early on. And it really will tell. You can look at the items. You can see Ryze is almost getting close to his decent build. You can see just shy of the Catalyst and Banshee's Veil, and he'll be happy. That's it. He's done. He's 2-0 already. 105 CS. So he's a little bit behind the CS from Morgana. That's no surprise. You can just AFK farm in lane. But those 2 kills will make a big difference. Have a look towards the gold. You can see, obviously, they've just been back to spend, but the difference down the bottom, 4,800 for Kennen to 2,700 for Vayne. That is a huge difference. 2,000 gold already, only this shorter time, and you can see what it's actually prevailed into. The Wriggles, Lantern, Berserker, Greaves down there, and of course that triple Doran. So at the moment, Genja is very, very strong down the bottom here, way ahead of the AD in the middle, down the bottom. Up the top, Darien is... well, he's been strong from the very start, from that very ballsy maneuver, taking the blue buff. He's just not really had too many problems with Riven up top.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job. You look at the minions even, and it's 114 to 78. Ouch! And Riven doesn't even have any real bonus armor from items. She's just trying to stack AD, use that shield to try to block parlays. And Darien, of course, with a bunch of points and eating oranges, just never gets pushed out. He's doing so much damage to her. And, anytime there's a team fight, he can teleport down. He has his ultimate as well for any ganks. He's just completely dominating that lane as it's going.
Absolute domination. So Moscow 5 looking very strong. They look good versus Dignitas at the moment. Sypher are finding out just why they were so highly touted before this tournament. And also often I've come into tournaments where someone's been so highly touted and it's gone badly. It's fell flat on its face. But Moscow 5, they've been prepared. They came here, a week early. They know the area very well. Riven gets picked off there. Didn't watch Alex coming through the jungle.
Turret, though.
Following Darien coming round. Yeah, he actually came up from the red area there. So Alex working his way up. Meanwhile, back down the bottom. Oh, Ragusa Pepper has just been caught out. But they're just so afraid of Shyvana. They didn't follow up on it there. Despite the fact Lee Sin and Morgana were both there. They completely caught him out. Just didn't want to go for for it. Very, very worried, so very precautious. And it's actually working in Moscow 5's favour, because, you know, they've got this air of confidence about them now that it's actually making these teams worried. So, I mean, AAA are going to be watching this one. Mr. Top Kill got there just in time before he dropped dead, and Darian is starting to steamroll. 3-0-5 at the top there. That's how it's going to go down in a second. He doesn't care. He's just taking the minions, you know, continue farming the gold. He's not in any rush to take that turret down, but the rest of the team, they're so far ahead. Nearly 10k gold already, just shy of 17 minutes into this game. They are dominant.
Yeah, they're absolutely in the driver's seat now. But, you know, the thing to remember, of course, while they are very far ahead, is you know, part of Sypher's strategy was investing in hyper carries. They have Vayne, they have Riven. These champions scale phenomenally well with items, and, you know, have CC and utility and movement to boot. So if anything can get to that unstoppable status, they can actually keep themselves there as well. But, you know, they've just not been having that happen so far. The mid-game power from Gangplank, from the Kennen, from Sona, from Shyvana, I mean, they've all done phenomenally well. And, you know, every single one of them is ahead, and 0 deaths obviously is kind of a big deal. So they've just been getting themselves farther ahead. And, you know, you keep mentioning the gold difference, and it's now broken more than 10,000. You know, Morgana just like gets run at by a -2 levels Shyvana. Like, level 10 versus 12. Yeah, I'm going to go dive you at your turret. Like, that's kind of the playstyle they're going for, and it's been working out.
And it's just the confidence, and Sypher are kind of just so cautious. We saw it right from the start, you know, where they could have got that dragon early on.
Baron.
They are going for a Baron. 18-minute Baron here from Moscow 5, and, you know, looking at the damage on Kennen, he's actually, despite the fact he has got an AD, he's got a lot of AD damage in there. He's got that BF sword already. He's obviously got the Wriggles Lantern as well. Don't forget, it's a triple Wriggles Lantern as well, because Gangplank and Shyvana have both got one as well. So very quick Baron there, and Sypher did just about spot it. But it didn't even have... Gangplank didn't even bother going help. He just said, yeah, you guys got that covered.
Yeah, seriously. And maybe he did that, you know, try to fake them out and say, well, I'm going to keep pushing. We know you have the power. Let's not make it look like Baron, because I'll stay in lane. But still, the point remains, 17 minutes in, they 4v5 or 4v0 Baron. That's still pretty impressive, in, you know, in terms of getting enough gold there. And you can see them just chopping at another turret. They've now gotten all the outer turrets for themselves. And, well, Gangplank's still pushing top, and that's down below half health. The ult goes off as well, just to... he pushed back Vayne on that turret. Okay, he did that to help defend a turret. I was like, are they going for a team fight? I'm confused. But yeah, another turret going down. That's 4 of them. And yeah, Schley should be a little bit afraid right here. He's going to jump in, and they're going to go for some damage here, actually. Pirate taking a bit there. Riven's going to pop her ult, and let's see if they can do this. The 2v1, and actually Janna coming in as well. So, you know, we'll see. But oh, wow, Schley getting hit pretty hard by Darian. Shyvana's still around. There's a stun. Eats oranges. Another Q goes off. Will he flash? He will. And Schley's going to go for it. Janna comes in as well. There's a knockup. Dark Binding misses. The ult comes off. Darian will drop down just barely, but here comes Sona, and that's 1 kill. They're going to try to get the rest as well with Kennen coming around, but that's just, you know, it's a 4v1, and you get 1 kill and trade it out. That's really harsh, and oh my gosh, the damage onto Vayne almost drops down to just 1 half combo from this guy.
You could almost say there was tons of damage there.
Tons of damage was dealt by Rise right there. It was harsh. I mean, that was just painful.
And meanwhile, in the middle, Shyvana didn't even bother following that up. He's going to continue pushing on towards this mid turret, and you know what? I think, yeah, Alex is going to come around here. They're going to have a very good go to this. I mean, they just have the tank minion with them. They're taking the red buff as well, so it's stealing all the enemy buffs as well. Shyvana, you can just see the damage he's pouring onto that turret now. Is he going to back away? No, he's not. He's just like, you know what? I can take this on my own. I don't need to worry about the rest of Sypher coming back. I was just stripping off, 2,000 hit points pretty much off that. Taking the red buff as well, Genja. And clears out the Wraiths to boot, so very much in control, way ahead in gold. I think that's like 14k now nearly ahead in gold, just 20 minutes into this one. Baron buff's probably going to run out very shortly. It's just about 2/3 in, so whether they're going to go back and buy complete, I mean, Kennen must be sitting on a stack of gold. Yeah, 2,000 gold in him. Shyvana 2,900 gold. Hasn't even gone back to buy yet, but yeah, I mean, just look at the difference. The AD carries 4,000 gold to just shy of 8,000 gold, so you know, that is a huge difference, double the gold difference for just your AD carries. Banshee's Veil now completed as well by Rise in the middle there, so Rise is miles ahead as well. He's not too bad. It's only 1,000 difference from Morgana. Morgana can obviously farm quite easily with that pull, but overall, there would have to be some sort of nuclear airstrike, I think, for Sypher to actually come back and win this one.
Yeah, they've got the gold almost doubled. Oh my gosh. recall in the brush. I mean, actually, they might catch Gangplank with that, which could be good. And they're going to go for it. Riven, they're going to go for a lot of damage here. The ult goes off, you know, and he's completely alone here. But Shyvana comes in, and that could be scary. Janna popping the ultimate. They might get enough durability out of that. But
behind them.
Oh, wow. Yep, here comes Ryze. And Ryze about to two-shot everyone on that team. Janna not in a happy place. Getting hit now by Sona as well. Gangplank to the front, and that will be the kill. Shyvana picking that one up. Two dead, nothing else left. And Morgana dropping as well to that Kennen up in the base. And they've got all 5 here going for this turret. Yeah, and Alex is just kind of tanking minions, doesn't really care too much. He's going to be fine. Has the Glacial Shroud and the Banshee's Veil, so a rather durable Ryze at that.
He's going for the kill. So Alex ignoring the tower, so I'm going to get Riven. Don't worry about me, you guys. Yeah, I'll be right back. Look at this. They really want the kills. I mean, this is GG. I think they don't think there's going to be any worry. They're just going to go straight through towards the Nexus turrets possibly. They still have that Baron buff, remember, almost running out. The rest of Sypher are just respawning, and that's going to be Launa getting popped immediately there. They saw the Crescendo go across. Only really caught one player, though, but that's going to be the first Nexus turret going down. Oh, they've got Piri out again, and it's really just a case of Alex picking him off. He said in his interview it's down to whoever has the CZ will make the call, and it seems to be working very well in Moscow Fire's advantage. That's the final Nexus turret down, and they will just take this Nexus straight down. Slayer's going to pop beforehand. Will go on the fountain. He escapes it. And wow. Really, that was a incredible performance from Moscow 5. Let's not take anything away from there. This is Sypher. Sypher came 3rd at IEM New York, the last IEM event, and they beat CLG to get that 3rd place. They're not an easy team to beat, but really, they got made to look completely average. They got 1 kill in that entire game, 15-1. That is a big score.
Yeah, and that does make Darian a feeder, of course. He is 4-1-8, which is, you know, just depressing, man. You died. He had the most gold in his team, but he still gave up that death. So I kind of feel like, Darian, you're letting your country down, man.
So, I mean, you've seen these guys play twice now at this event. Obviously, we talked about them yesterday.
Yeah.
What do you think is really going to get in their way and stop them? Barring maybe a TSM or an SK. We've got AAA coming up next. They're going to watch this and they're going to be thinking, what are we going to do?
Well, against Authority, definitely very strong. I'm thinking back to the Sypher AAA game. You know, Sypher ran a bit of a different strategy, and the thing is, you know, they built their advantages by doing clever things, and that made it a pretty close game, whereas this was kind of more of a straight-up fight, and Moscow 5 just kind of mopped them up. And so I kind of feel like against All Authority, you know, they would probably play well in a straight-up game as well. You know, they were a little bit confused, and they lost, you know, some of their advantages to the clever plays. You know, they went for Baron, they lost an inhibitor. They went to push mid, they lost bottom turrets. And so, you know, doing clever things made the game close, you know, in a game that against All Authority was kind of driving the entire time. And so, you know, if you look by, you know, how badly Moscow 5 beat Sypher versus how badly Against All Authority beat Sypher, you know, it looks like it's completely swung that Moscow 5 is going to just mop the floor with Against All Authority, and I don't think that's the case. I think it's still going to be, you know, a highlighted match. We still actually have AAA versus Dignitas still to play, and that could actually mean quite a lot as well.
Indeed, yeah.
I mean, anything can actually be blown open. You could have you know, all sorts of weird ties. Moscow 5, though, you actually asked, I think they are the stronger team coming into this one against AAA, and that's going to be a tall order for them to come out against this. They were predicting themselves to come out first in the group, Moscow 5, and you know, looks like that may be the case, but you know, it's best of one, it's group stages, and now Against All Authority has been able to watch them play twice. They've seen these picks, said, you know, they can really choose for themselves, is Shyvana really that good? Is she worth banning? Or is there a play style that we can, you know, look at and say, no, we know how to beat her here, here, and here. She's gone, you know, for red first every time. You know, maybe they'll know to cover their buffs more often. You know, they've watched him counter jungle both these games. I feel like, you know, a team with the quality of Against All Authority and how good Linak was that first game, that they know how to capitalize on that aggression.
And also Althor versus Alex in the mid is a very big thing. I mean, I've seen it. Althor's performed brilliantly in some games. Alex has performed brilliantly in this game. I've seen Karthus has been banned pretty much throughout this, which is targeted towards Alex. Alex is very strong in him. Now, you could allow a Nivea to go in there, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, there's all sorts of AP heroes available between those two. Definitely going to be a tough one, because Alex has kind of bullied out the lane in mid there. Obviously, he had the help from the jungler. And like you say, Shyvana actually didn't make that big an impact in that game, I don't think, compared to, say, the first game. So why would you target him? Obviously, of course, Morgana was, I think, was the first pick for Sypher there. So, I mean, do you think that was a mistake? Do you think they showed their hand too early with the AP carry?
I think Morgana worked, honestly. She had most gold on her team, a lot of minions. She did out CS Ryze. When you looked at the Dignitas game, you know, Skara got pretty much crushed there. And so, you know, you said, well, you know, Shyvana wasn't a big deal that game. Well, probably because Morgana's super safe, and they're worried that, you know, the Ryze Shyvana combo hurts really bad, and they're like, what is the one champion we can play that we know we won't lose mid? Morgana! And, you know, it worked. She did fine in lane. She had, you know, the one kill for her team. She had, again, 5.9 thousand gold, actually tied the Sona from the enemy team. So, you know, when you actually, you know, get up to that point, you know, I think it was still a pretty good pick, and I think it's, you know, maybe worth playing.
And the bottom lane, it's the third time it's been picked and lost.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Vayne and Janna, so it's just not working, guys. Vayne Soraka, that worked very well. I think, who picked that one?
That would have been SK.
It would have been SK, yeah. Vayne Soraka, Scandi Panda Nif. It's just not worked every time it's happened. But can an AD carry?
I mean, it happened, and I don't know if that's them saying we know we're better than Sypher, like, because they picked the Kennen pretty late in the in the rotation. I think they last picked Gameplank, but you know he was their 4th pick, and they were like, well, we know we've outpicked them. Like they saw the game so far, you know, that might have been them, or they're trolling, or whatever it is, but. You know, it worked. It worked. He got that fast wriggles. He was doing a lot of damage. He had the most kills in his team. He was very aggressive. And honestly, if you're an AD carry who can stun people, plus you have Sona who, you know, gives you AP and attack damage and can slow or stun as well. I mean, it worked out. They had a nice AoE comp there. They chose it maybe not because he's the best laner ever, but because it works for a team composition. It works for, you know, a specific sort of combo. And honestly, it worked out, so I can't really give him any hate.
Yeah, indeed. And so, what a fantastic performance so far for Moscow 5. I guess we're going to go to a break and see what is coming up next. It's going to be yourself and Daniel Klein's going to be stepping in here. We're going to have we're going to carry on talking.
Yeah, we absolutely are.
Hey, we can do that. Don't worry. If we need to talk, and let's talk about the rest of the tournament. So we've obviously seen TSM SK go through.
Yeah.
Looking like Moscow 5 are going to go through. They're 2-0 at the moment, so chances are even a 2-1 you're generally going to go through. Who would you think they're going to want to face? I mean, if they top the group, they're going to get SK. If they go second, they're going to get TSM.
Yeah.
Now, do you think they're going to want to go for that TSM? Because they are playing AAA. They could say, you know what? We know we're kind of through, so we might lose this to get TSM, or do we want TSM in the final?
Well, there's two things with that basically. So so in the interview right before the game, and I was talking to him, he said he wanted to face Team Sulamid in the semis.
Yeah.
That he and I think it's because either one, he'd rather have a easier match. Maybe they believe SK is stronger than Sulamid, and that that's an absolute possibility. The other one maybe that he wants to force Sulamid to a best 3rd place. If he's super confident, and let's be fair, the Moscow 5 are ridiculously confident.
Yeah.
We want this fake rivalry, and I actually asked them. They said we don't actually have a rivalry with Sulamid. We don't care, but the case may be maybe they actually just want to kind of beat them down. Sure, that might be the case. But as far as throwing the game against All Authority, I don't know, because they're gonna have to play at the same time. That we're gonna have the first game go through, and we're gonna have against All Authority play against Dignitas, and maybe there's gonna be something weird where there's gonna be some weird 3-way tie, and if they lose really fast and Dignitas wins, and suddenly there's 3 teams at 2-1, and that's a possibility that can happen.
Well, this wins in 22:47, so I think they've got the fastest time, which is obviously what we had in China. There was the 3-way tie, and I think it was IG ended up going out because they didn't win quick enough or something like that. But 22:47 was a pretty quick time.
So if I were Moscow 5 and I wanted to guarantee first to pass the group, I would get Fortify and Promote. No, Fortify's gone. I would get Heal and I would get Teleport, Revive, Promote, any of those, and just stack Heimerdinger, John, anyone who can defend turrets, AoEs everywhere, and well, if you rush mid, what if you get countered and you lose in 10 minutes? I would how is the way we can defend turrets the best? Everyone get a healer. Let's get Taric and Alistar and Soraka and Sona. We're gonna first pick all that. And then you're guaranteed to get first in the group. I mean, it would work, as trolly as that may be. It'd be kind of fun to watch, I think.
At Worldside Begins, Team UK thought, they were against Dignitas, so they said, you know what, we're going to try it, and they'd used Promote, and they tried to go straight up mid, and it actually worked until one person accidentally hit someone with an AE hit instead of the tower, and then pulled to aggro, and then they died, and it sort of steamrolled from there. But they actually got to the base turrets.
Wow. Actually, I've actually heard of this before. It's actually there's a group of rioters back home who we pick 5 ranged AD carries, stack the rune page full of attack speed, go twin on offense, and go 5 promote heal, and it's and maybe some surge in there, and it's they'll blow through those turrets pretty quick. I mean, honestly, maybe get Ezreal in there for the W. It'd be fun to see a base race.
One day we'll see it in a tournament game when
it'll probably happen.
It was an all-out tactic. But overall in this game, we've got Dignitas, of course, And now I've seen this one. They know they've been lost to M5. They've seen Sypher lose to M5.
Yep.
I think it's Dignitas AAA next, I believe.
Dignitas AAA is next.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a very tough match straight away. But I guess we'll see it shortly. We're going to go to a break. We'll be back soon.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We are here with interviews with Sypher and Moscow 5. So the first question is, can you please introduce yourselves to the crowd? What did you play in that last game?
I'm Alexic. I was playing Rise the last game.
I'm Pyri. I was playing Jana the last game.
Alrighty, so what did you think about the last game? Did it go as you expected, Moscow 5? They've been the favorite for this tournament. How did you expect the game to go? Did it follow your expectations? And how do you feel about how it went?
I think it was going like we were expecting. It's about, as Darian said, we're gonna stomp. So if Darian says this, then we need to do this. He's like our cheerleader, so. And I was only afraid when the game was going. I was like the weakest point in the game. So it's about Darian got huge advantage. At bot line was a huge advantage. So we were like, okay, so Shyvana should stick mid, and I was like the only one gangable there. So and they couldn't kill me because Morgana was pushing hard. So it was just going. We were just winning and winning and winning like snowball.
Ну, в принципе, сказал Алексей, что все шло очень хорошо, все шло так, как задумано. Если Дариан сказал, что мы их в салат, значит, надо их в салат. И как бы единственное, что пошло чуть-чуть не так, это то, что он себя чувствовал самым слабым звеном в своей команде, потому что как бы тяжело было стоять, конечно, против Морганы в миде, но так как наверху все было просто очень хорошо, внизу тоже было очень хорошо, в итоге все пошло абсолютно по плану команды Moscow 5.
What should I say?
How did the game go? Did it go as you expected? And sort of basically, how did the game go?
Yeah, I think we just get outpicked and outplayed because we know that Gozu Pepper, their support, is playing Nunu and Sona to be very aggressive on lane, and we tried to pick Sona, but the first picked it, so it was like fuck.
Ну что, говорит, в первую очередь, что нас все-таки отпикнули. Они очень хотели форспиком забрать Сону, но Moscow 5, как вы видели, просто инста-пик сразу после бана, сразу забирает Сону, на которой играл Gosu Paper. И вот с того момента все пошло не так.
Okay, so going into the rest of this tournament, you guys are 2-0 and 0-2 respectively. What are you going to do for the rest of this tournament to try to do the best you can? What are you looking to do in your last games?
I think we will try to win because we want to meet SK Gaming more than TSM, and we will just play our game again. I think we won't make some stupid things. We won't make something extreme picks. We will just play. We need revenge against AAA because we lost to them on the last Go for LoL. So we think that they are our main enemies on this tournament. So we want to win pretty much.
Ну что, говорит Алексей, что будут они играть в свою игру, не будут придумывать ничего экстремального, не будут выдумывать каких-то нереальных пиков, просто будут играть против в свою самую сильную игру. К тому же проиграли они на последнем Go for LoL турнире у этой французской команды, поэтому считают их своими основными конкурентами в этой группе и будут стараться изо всех сил, чтобы победить их, потому что очень хотят сыграть с SK Gaming, а не с TSM все-таки в полуфинале.
For the last game against Dignitas, I think we will play the best we can do against them. It's an American team. We're not used to play against American team, so we don't really know them, but we will try our best. And I think it can be an interesting match.
Ну что, говорят ребята, что в последней игре парни из Sypher будут играть против Dignitas и, конечно, будут показывать абсолютно все, что они умеют, потому что ничего сейчас от них не зависит в этой группе, так что просто надо расслабиться и играть абсолютно в свою игру, и все будет хорошо.
And for Moscow 5, your next match is going to be versus Against All Authority, and you're about to watch them face against Team Dignitas. What are you going to look for in this match? Any weaknesses or any strengths?
I think we know them pretty good. We play against them in solo queue. We saw their games in 5 versus 5 pre-made, I think, last games. We saw their games on Go for LoL. So, yeah, we want to watch it, but I don't think that they will surprise us anyhow. It's like, I think we will just watch it because it's interesting, not like investigating some strategies.
Ну что, говорит Алексей, что следующую игру, которую мы будем смотреть на сцене против Dignitas, в первую очередь Moscow 5 будут смотреть, потому что им интересно, а не потому что они хотят узнать что-то новое, потому что уверен Алексей в том, что никак абсолютно команда IEM не сможет их удивить. Очень много матчей ребята из России посмотрели французского этого коллектива, прекрасно не знают, как играет АА, и вряд ли чем-то смогут удивить они команду Moscow 5.
And for Sypher, your next game is going to be against Dignitas. You're going to see them up on stage as well. Are there any lessons you're looking for in this game?
Like I said, we don't really know Dignitas, so I think we will adapt against them. We have no really strategy against them. Maybe we'll try some picks we worked about, but we have no really strategy against them.
Ну, говорит, в принципе, что, конечно, будут смотреть и на игру Dignitas сейчас парни из Sypher. Последняя игра у них как раз против этого коллектива. И говорит французский игрок, что будут они приспосабливаться по ходу матча к Dignitas, потому что они не знают, как играет Dignitas, они не знают, что с ними делать, и придется только именно по ходу игры принимать какие-то важные решения.
Next question is about AD Kennen. So you played Kennen as a ranged AD bot lane. What was the reason for that?
Genja likes AD Cannon. He plays AD Cannon. We always play heroes that our players like. So it's like Shyvana. If you like Shyvana, if you play good Shyvana, why don't you play Shyvana? If you like AD Cannon, Cannon got some scale from AD, why don't you play AD Cannon? It's about, you can see AD Cannon like Bruiser on the top lane, sometimes, at least in Europe. And sometimes even you can see it in bottom lane. And if you watch our streams, you can like, in, I think, 30% of games, Genja was picking AD Cannon. Because it's about, if you like CC, Cannon suits pretty well, because he got his ultimate with a lot of stuns. You can just stun from auto attack. You got Shuriken stun, and Cannon got really good attack speed and animation of attack. So he's pretty perfect as AD.
Что вопрос по поводу пика Кэнона, на котором играл Генджа в прошлой игре внизу и очень хорошо себя проявил. Алексей отвечает, что Генджа очень любит этого героя, и если ты любишь этого героя, почему бы им не сыграть? Как бы постоянно опять отталкиваться от того, что надо играть героями теми, которые нравятся игрокам, теми, которым играть приятно. К тому же просто расхвалил тут этого героя, что мне же захотелось им поиграть. Настолько хороший этот Кэнон, что очень часто его берут М5, и как бы если вы следите за стримами этой команды, то могли в принципе и эту информацию знать заранее. Ну, Sypher, видимо, этого не знали.
Now for Sypher, the next match up there is Against All Authority against Dignitas, and then the last match of the day also is Against All Authority playing again against Moscow 5. Are you actually going to cheer for them because they're your country mates, or do you actually dislike them because they're sort of an enemy French team?
Can you repeat, please?
Are you going to cheer for Against All Authority because they're fellow Frenchmen, or would you rather them lose because you'd rather do better than them?
No, we will support the French team because it's no nationality. You have to cheer up. So, go French team, go. I think they can win. So go win.
Ну что, интересный довольно вопрос. Следующий игра, как вы знаете, против Dignitas. И как бы ребятам из Sypher для того, чтобы остаться в турнире, нужно, чтобы выигрывали Dignitas. Потом побеждать у Dignitas и рассчитывать на тайм-рейтинг. И будут ли они болеть за Dignitas или все-таки за своих друзей из Франции, за АА? И отвечают парни Sypher, что в любом случае не будут болеть за своих коллег, за своих друзей из Франции, будут поддерживать АА. И они уверены, что АА выиграет эту игру.
And what are your predictions for yourselves for the rest of this tournament? I believe you're not technically out. You for Sypher, you have the ability to still come through on a tiebreaker in Moscow 5 at 2-0. I believe you might be guaranteed to be all the way through the group. But what are your predictions for the rest of this tournament?
We're going to take the first place. And about the second place and third place, I think the top three teams will be AAA, Moscow 5, Team Solo Meet, and I think SK Gaming actually can win all the teams too. It will be interesting. Playoffs will be really interesting.
Ну что, вопрос по поводу, какие ваши ставки на весь турнир. Отвечает Алексей, что, понятное дело, мы возьмем первое место. Ну и, скорее всего, что ААА, команда Against All Authority и Team Solomid также присоединятся к ним в тройке призеров. Но и опять-таки не стоит сбрасывать со счетов СК, потому что они все-таки сильны.
My pronostic, I think Moscow 5 will win the tournament because you saw that in the first two matches. They are monsters. They crush all the teams, and I think it will be like that all the tournaments.
What about the other two places?
Maybe Team Solomid or maybe AAA. I don't think SK will be fourth, I think.
Ну что считают ребята из команды Team Sypher, что выиграют турнир М5, потому что они просто уничтожили своих врагов в первых двух играх. Ну а второе и третье место, скорее всего, займут Team Solomid и АА. И сказал, что абсолютно не верит он в то, что СК смогут выиграть в полуфинале и выйти в финал.
We talked to your teammates in the interview before the match, but for you guys as well, how have you been enjoying your stay in Kiev so far?
Can you repeat?
How are you individually enjoying your stay in Kiev?
Oh, in Kiev, it's pretty cool. I mean, I myself don't like going in the city and enjoying it. So for me, it's like arena and home. So, and I really enjoy the environment. I really enjoy, and even when I'm going through the city, I really enjoy it. And the most shocking for me is that at midnight there is no activity, no people, no cars. It's pretty unusual for Moscow.
Ну что, говорит Алексей, что в принципе нравится ему в Киеве, но как бы не видел он город, потому что не очень любит гулять там по городу, поэтому вся активность это как бы Киев Киберспорт-арена, дом, Киев Киберспорт-арена, дом. Ну и вообще единственное, что удивляет, так это то, что в 12 ночи в Киеве перестает работать все, люди перестают ходить, машины перестают ездить. Да, есть у нас такая особенность, мы ложимся спать, мы не гуляем по ночам.
My first impression in Kiev when I arrived, it was, oh, it's so cold. The second one was, oh, there is many pretty girls. And then we have some difficulty about when we reserved the hotel, the address wasn't the good one because it was the office. So we have some difficulties with transport, taxi, after all. But it's pretty cool, Kiev. I like it.
Nobody understands English in Ukraine, that's the problem. Ребята из Team Sypher говорят, что в принципе, как всегда, было холодно, очень холодно, но еще понравилось, что очень много красивых девушек у нас, ну и столкнулись они с одной проблемой, что при бронировке отеля им дали неправильный адрес, и долго они искали свой отель, и проблема немного с транспортом, потому что тяжело, все-таки люди понимают их, а в общем, в принципе, все им нравится.
And finally, do you guys have any shout-outs to the people here, the people watching at home, and your fans as well?
Привет. Так, хотелось бы передать привет своим родителям, сказать спасибо Moscow 5 за поддержку, спасибо своим фанатам, передать привет Продоте, передать привет чату, передать привет своей девушке Юле. Так, вроде всем передал, кто просил.
Yeah, I would like to thank Sypher for first, and our support, Rise Nexus and SteelSeries. I would like to say that we are very open website, lolmag.com. It started really recently. Thanks to our fans who follow us in France. I would like to say hi to Puxi. I said her to do that. So thanks to all. Thanks to my family too, who support me really good. Thanks.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this interview. Thanks, of course, to Moscow 5 and Sypher for being part of this as well. And we will have the next game up on stage in the near future. We will have a banner telling you the time of that, so stay tuned, and we'll have the next games underway. And we'll be finishing out Group B over the course of the day. So, signing off. Thanks very much for watching.